To you live with Chris Zaino, and we are here at Chicago, Illinois, at the historic Public House, which is a hotel, and it's the old pump room, which where a lot of celebrities have walked through.
Dude, you didn't tell me it was called the Pump Room. Shit. Man, I already love the place. It's called the Pump Room.
So let's drop some knowledge on everybody out there that's tuned in to us and tell them a little bit about what your talk's about and what brought you out here with this group of people.
Well, Ashley Oshner's a very dear friend of mine. I'm at the point where I could say I know people like over 10 years, and I think that's really cool. So known Ashley over 10 years. He reached out to me. I really don't speak on certain stages a lot. I'm very selective on that. And he called me to talk. And the great thing now when it comes to chiro, it's like I'm a badass chiropractor, and I could talk about chiropractic, and I could tell you everything else anybody could tell you. But what I enjoy about it is that my message doesn't cannibalize anybody else, because I just get to talk about, the I Am Hero project. Just that we are all born with seeds of greatness, and we're capable of doing heroic things. And then society has put us in this secret identity that we may or may not realize. And for us to be able to unleash the true hero and do what we do by maximizing our mindset and superpowers and vehicle of influence to the world, and then also be able to monetize it so you could do what you love to do with equal value exchange. I get to talk about that, and that's what I'm currently going through now. And now, speaking on stages all over the world that are even outside the health industry. So it's just been a real good blessing, and I'm totally pumped about it.
So tell me a little bit about your career and how you got to the stage you're at right now.
Yeah. 2005, opened up my practice with my wife, Whitney. And in the last 12 years, we built one of the largest clinics in the history of the profession. And I can say that with confidence, seeing between 2,600 a week and nudging 3,000. And, I was Superman in the clinic, adjusting the heck out of people. I destroyed obscurity in my community when it comes to chiropractic, meaning that, chiropractors bitch and they moan about MDs, they bitch and moan about the circumstances. But the fact is, people in your town don't know who you are or what you do, because everybody I talk to, when they find out what a chiropractic really is and what we really do, people say, sign me up. I want to at least learn more, right? So I learned how to destroy obscurity, because I think that's the big problem. Because medicine's spending $50 million a day on advertising, so I tip my hat to them, because you know what? They're putting their money where their mouth is, but we're segmented, so there's no one office spending $100,000 a month on advertising. So I did it by dinners or getting one-to-one, one-to-many conversations. So I destroyed obscurity. So that's how I built my practice, doing those dinners, and we exploded. 2,000 visits a year doing that. And then from getting people in from obscurity, then we had to now convert, right? So you have a patient who doesn't even know what chiropractic is. Or let me refrain. Chiropractic to them was an ass pain, a neck pain, a car accident thing, right? So you ask 1,000 people what chiropractic is, they'll tell you something, right? But it's not what we do. So we destroy obscurity. So you go from someone saying, I don't know what chiropractic is, to, wow, I actually know what it is. So now how do we convert them to becoming a patient? So I developed the predictable systems to allow them to become a patient in a proper way. And then the thing is, because you and I know chiropractic, none of us want to take care of someone for 3 months, because I know you're not going to see an entire legacy and transformation of someone's life in 3 months. So we know what chiropractic does for the entire being over time and for their generations to come. So the dream of every chiropractor is lifetime chiropractic patients. And so I knew going in, like, that's the end goal. So I'm going to reverse engineer this thing to where we have over 1,200 patients every single month, saying we're not talking finances, we're in for life. And so how do we build a lifetime practice? Not necessarily, because now we're transforming lives. So we're reaching our dream as a chiro. When you have lifetime patients, you're not needing new patients, so you're not in scarcity. Because when you're not in scarcity, you actually could have I would almost say an interview process, right? So I'm not accepting, chiropractic is for everybody, but our offices may not be for everybody, right? So if you just want to back cracked, no, I want to change your life, so you could be a little bit more selective, and just knowing that you're not needy actually attracts more people. So it's those things. We destroyed obscurity, we mastered conversion, and we understand and really nailed the lifetime patient, what we call the lifetime VIP program. And that's just something that I've done up until this point. And then, so now over time we're doing that. Then I noticed in the last couple years, I mean, here I'm 40 now, so I'd probably say it's probably started around 36. I started noticing I was yearning and I was craving to adjust more minds than the spine. You follow what I'm saying? Because here I could adjust your spine, and whether you believe Chiro or not, I remove the interference, the body heals. It's not like the innate intelligence doesn't give a crap what your mind thinks. You know, it's going to work. But the thing is, it's like, but if they understood, if I was to help their mindset here, so they could understand the true potential and hero they have inside them, then Chiro is part of life. You know, eating right is part of life. You know what I mean? Like, so when you have it here, all those other things fall into place. So, because, you know, even though I might have seen over 16,000 patients in the last 12 years, I also have a storage shed. Let's talk about I also have a storage unit, rather, of people who quit care. And we all have, right? I mean, we'd all be seeing 70,000 patients a week. So I have a storage unit that I pay monthly for, hundreds of dollars, for x-rays of people who quit care. And because it's like they started with good intention, and then this didn't change. Like they got the principle, they understood it, it sounded good, but this didn't change, and this didn't change, and that secret identity stayed there. They didn't embrace the hero. And so I started noticing that more of my adjustments were mind adjustments, even though I was still adjusting them, but I wanted here more than here sometimes. And so now that entered into the I Am Hero project, where it's me. It's finally me, and I'm helping wake up other people to embrace their hero, leave that secret identity. And the secret identity, just to let you know, it's not all bad, because it's just a protective mechanism. It's something that has kept us conformed to fit in. It has kept us safe, just like a callus, but we don't need it anymore. So when you realize it, you don't need it anymore. See, the enemy of the hero, it's not the villain, it's the secret identity. So, you know, Superman, really the enemy wasn't Lex Luthor, it was Clark Kent. Because as long as he was Clark Kent, he wasn't able to become Superman. Like Batman, Joker wasn't his enemy. It was Bruce Wayne, because as long as he was Bruce Wayne, he couldn't be his full hero mode. So I'm trying to tell people, as long as you're in your secret identity, you're not the full expression of who you were created to be. So that is my purpose, is to wake up over 1 billion people to become heroes and reach their potential.
Well, you know, I couldn't say it much better than Dr. Zaino here. And something that I've always talked to people about, Doc, is people need to work above the atlas with people. And I think that might be the greatest subluxation of mankind, is their inferiority complex within. So you hit that right on the head, is if we can start unleashing some of the greatness within the people that need chiropractic care, now we can create a momentum for lifetime patients. And why would you want to see somebody for 3 months, like Doc says? Why would you want to just get
3 visits,
or 3 visits? And why do you want to have a storage shed full of old films? Because people aren't under your care anymore. I think that is probably the craziest thing I would ever hear is, ooh, I have so much, you know, old films here, and I have to keep these things because people quit my care.
Yeah, I'm not proud of that at all.
So I know we're here with a lot of masters of certainty. And we have Dan Sullivan here with us. We have Ashley Oshner and Dan Bay, and yourself and Tom Nestor. Tell us a little bit about what people are going to take home from you tomorrow.
Oh my God. So basically, I'm going to go over the 4 different steps on how to, you know, defeat that secret identity and maximize them and really, truly become the true authentic hero or maximal potential you were created to be. And just going back to the people there, you know, with the mind, B.J. Palmer said the primordial subluxation, or the primary subluxation, was the disconnection between man and God, all right? So when I talk hero, I mean the innate genius inside you. So as a chiropractor, what do we do? Removing interference from the innate intelligence, right? So saying this innate intelligence that runs our body, as we remove the subluxation, allows that innate intelligence to be reconnected to the body as it should, right? It was intended to. But that same innate intelligence that's making my heart beat right now, but that same innate intelligence gives us creativity, imagination, it gives us certainty, it gives us inspiration, it gives us an idea. So I think it's like, as a chiropractor, it's like I was so focused on innate intelligence on a physical level, I'm like, well, wait a second. it's the genius that gave me the ideas. It's the genius that gives me inspiration. It's the genius that gives me a tear of something that motivates me to do something. So I'm like, that to me is reconnecting man and God, or that primordial subluxation, because when I get a thought, or when you get a thought, or as BJ say, a thought flash, like, I didn't come up with that. Like, that was downloaded. So to me, that's, I mean, you guys, I'm not philosophical, well, whatever. I can't, how do you say it?
Philosophical.
Yeah, I'm not doing that or dogmatically, legalistic, religiously ever do it. I'm just saying that when I get that thought flash, it's not coming from my brain. It's coming from that innate intelligence that we're all connected with, and it's just genius. And it's not my, it's coming into me. So the thing is, and I think that's where we're connecting, as BG said, you know, God and man back together. So the more we could really be able to connect that, but I think the subluxation is just not being aware of it. Like, people don't really are not aware that they were the hero the entire time. Like, like personal development, the problem with that is personal development says that you need something more. Just like medicine, you need the drug, you need the outside-in approach. Personal development's the same thing. You need the book, you need this other technique to be better, but the same thing is like, you just need to remember. You don't need more, you just need to remember who you were and that you are, that, you know, I am and I was and I always will be the hero, but it's about me remembering. And so if I could get people to wake up and remember what it was like when we were kids. Just think, you got kids?
I don't. No kids for me.
You gotta get you got a girlfriend or wife?
I don't.
Ladies, we're also doing a matchmaking. So when you do have kids, you have nephews or something?
I have,
perfect.
Yes.
So when you look at a kid, you know, a kid has imagination. They're creative. They're playful. They're totally secure. They're confident. They have a lot of pride. They have a lot of ego. They live in vertical time. Actually, time is not even an issue. They don't even think in time. They don't think linear. They think vertical. They always question limitations. They ask why all the time. It's just like they have fun. They're optimistic. They're playful. And they never went to a seminar to learn that. They never read a book. They never read Think and Grow Rich. They never learned the 67 steps to mindfulness and happiness. They were born that way.
Your wife just joined us.
Oh, she is on. So they were born that way. And they weren't born that way. We were all born that way. And something happened subtly over time that masked and suppressed the hero, which was always in us. And now we live lives of that quiet desperation. So my job is to wake people up and reconnect them, or actually help them remember the hero that was always inside them. Then for that person to have enough pride and ego to say that, you know what, I am heroic and I am important and my message is for the world and I am a special person and I can do great and amazing things. And even though my mom or my dad or this person or that person may have told me I couldn't, or maybe I might not have that education that I thought I needed, but I am special with the unique gifts and talents I've always had inside me, and I deserve and the world deserves to hear me. And so that's what the I Am Hero Project is, and everybody is pumped about it because that's what they get. So I'll go over the four steps to be able to take it from waking up, finding or maximizing your superpowers, which is unique gifts and talents, choosing your vehicle. So my vehicle is video, and your vehicle is not only video but also podcast and audio. So you choose the vehicle, and then fourth, how do you monetize it, right? So you could do, like we're sitting here, I'm sweating because we love doing this, right? We have more energy. I just got off a plane. I was exhausted. Now we're pumped up.
I'm on 3 hours of sleep.
Yeah, but we could do this all night long because we're in our lane. And you know that. If you're watching this, you know there's something you do that when you do it, you get excited. You could talk about it all night long. So it's like, what is that? So how do we take that, which you love, and now be able to monetize that so now you could do something with an exchange of value that you really love to do, and actually now be able to live the life you're supposed to have with no regrets.
And, you know, everything that Chris is saying here, I learned this from Dr. DeMartini. He told me you have to give yourself permission to be great. And I learned something from BJ Palmer, too. He said you don't need anything extra in your body. You simply need no interference. And maybe the interference is between your temples. It might not just be a spinal thing, but I think chiropractic, I tell people, I learned this from James Chestnut, you should live the four-dimensional lifestyle. Eat well, think well, move well. But the thing he left off the end of that is get adjusted. And why I love chiropractic so much is because what they teach people is start with the adjustment. And then when you start getting into that chiropractic lifestyle, like you were mentioning earlier, people start eating well, thinking well, moving well, and getting adjusted. But let's switch it around and let's start with the adjustment first, and then teach them to eat well, think well, move well. And then we get a shift in society. Then we get a shift in the workforce, because people are going to be more than just a paycheck and just somebody that shows up to work and think that that's their destiny. And and then they forget how to be good to each other. And I think that that's really the core at all of this, is when you start unleashing that inner hero, you start becoming better to yourself, and you start becoming better to your community. You become, like you were saying before we got on this, you became a better dad. You know, you became a better husband.
Because I'm not in a funk. I'm not, every 1 hour I'm in a funk. Like, people think, well, I was 5 minutes in a funk, 1 hour in a funk. But there's something called compound effect, right? So the thing is, like, if I'm unhealthy a little bit here and there, that compounds over time. I'm dead early. If my mood is off, that compounds over time. You know, that could cause divorce. Totally. So it's like, so forget the monetization for a second. How about just the happiness and joy factor? So I'm way more happier now. And and number one, I don't give a shit if people judge me now. Like, that's the first thing you have to do. Like, you cannot be heroic with the judgment of others. You just got to be able to be you, because that's the thing. Number one, you don't give yourself permission to be your true authentic self, because society doesn't give you permission to be your true authentic self. So I'm way more happier now than when I remember seeing that computer say 2,000 a week. Because when I hit 2,000 a week, it was a scoreboard. It was like a trophy. I remember taking my Mr. America trophy, or even my Mr. Universe trophy. I took it, and it was a win. It was like, cool, it was a goal, it was a win, but it was empty, because it was just a number. It was just a scoreboard. It didn't have deep-rooted substance for like a tremendous impact that really was something where I could literally say, I'm willing to give everything I have and trade it in to move forward with this project. So, of course, the chiropractic was the evolution of it, and it is there. And yes, I definitely think you have to get adjusted, because, see, eating right's not going to reconnect you with your innate intelligence. No. Sorry. It is a healthy discipline to do. But removing because I know, like, when your chemistry, like Reggie used to talk about the chemistry of life, when you remove the subluxation, your chemistry of life changes. Because when I talk to someone,
it changes your taste buds.
Let's talk about psychotropic. When I talk to people on a bunch of psychotropic medications, they're irrational. I cannot speak rational. They're not rationally thinking, because their chemistry is off. Like, they can't receive, right? So it's like connecting that person on the nervous system level gets them to start waking up. And I really think that happened with us. Like, how come, it's so funny, everybody's like, why are you chiropractors always into conspiracy stuff? When into conspiracy stuff, I think that when we're functioning correctly and we could think clearly,
we start questioning everything.
And I think when you're functioning optimally and you're thinking clearly, you have the gift of discernment, which is you could look at something and say, there's something that I just don't think it sounds right about that. And you start questioning things like a child, and like you actually start seeing truth better because you're functioning better. So I think the ability to see truth is better when you're being adjusted, and that leads you on your own journey, right? So that your own journey could be health, it could be religion, whatever that is. But I so think it comes to the time, I was 40 years old going, what is the stuff that I believe that I was told to believe, and what is the stuff that I came to believe? Two different things, right? Mom telling me to believe, or I experienced it to believe, right? And when you experience and you believe it and find your own truth in it, it's a much more deeper rooted experience, right? Than because someone told me. So I really think that with chiropractic, it allows you just to search and be a truth seeker, right?
And for me, from being next to Chris in this interview, I want to share a quick story with you guys. Is you guys can do anything you want to. I hike 14,000 foot mountains for fun. Yep. And that's one of my hobbies. And the story I tell the chiropractic students when I go and talk to them at the schools is, one day I was hiking a 14,000 foot mountain, and there was a blind man with his little stick tapping his way up this mountain. So he had a guide with him, but this guy without the vision had vision.
Right.
So any of you out there that are watching this that second guess yourself and you're an able-bodied person and think that you can't do something, get out of your own way and go out there and do whatever you want to and crush those goals and become that hero that's deep down in the core of you, like Chris is telling you about. Because I really think that all of us possess the abilities to be great, and like Dee Martini told me, you just have to give yourself permission to find that. So anybody that's out there that is second guessing themselves for how strong they really are, I think that you're fooling yourself and you're living in disbelief, and I think that there's so much that you can do to achieve greatness and help more people and serve bigger.
Amen. I'm gonna use that story tomorrow.
Well, with that being said, I've had a really nice time with you here, Doc. I think that
Nice.
I think that what you've done over the
Can you have something more powerful than nice? You gotta be a nice guy.
well, you know what I've been able to take away from this is power. And you know, I asked the question yesterday: what is better for what attracts you more, authenticity or powerful people? And more people hedge towards the authenticity.
Yeah.
But you can't become powerful without authenticity deep in the core. So I just put those two words out there as like little feelers, and more people were more interested about people being authentic than they were about them being powerful.
Because I think people are so sick of bullshit. They just want to see, hey, you know, people are so hungry for. I just want to see someone who's like true and authentic. That's why people like Gary Vee and stuff like that. Right? It's like, oh, he's just the way he like. So people just want a real person because even reality TV show is acted. You know, so it's like it's not even. Everybody looks at it like people just want truth. It's what we always wanted. I think at the core you got love and you got truth, and we always want to search for that. And just with everything around, it's hard to find it. You know,
So yeah, like you said, we have so much deep in our core of us. We just have to allow ourselves to pull it out. And with that being said,
it's my mom.
Dr. Zaino's mom's on there. So thank you so much for everybody that's been on this live feed with us. If you guys didn't make it out to the Go 17 event this year, you guys are really missing out.
Still can make it.
Yeah, well, we are going to start tomorrow about 8 in the morning.
I mean, you guys can, like, even though they said like the tickets are out, if you show up, I'm sure.
We're going to let you
Yeah,
in.
don't let that scarcity bullshit get you. I'm sure, like, if you showed up, and listen, my guarantee, if you show up and you pay whatever the price is for admission, if you don't like it, I'll personally pay your ticket. If you don't like my event, I'll pay for your entire thing. That's how confident I am with the message. So just show up. I mean, even if one person shows up, it's still going to be worth it. You know?
So with that being said, love and appreciate everybody that's out there that tuned into this live feed with Chris Zaino, and everybody out here at this Go Get Talks in Chicago. We're really bringing up the volume for the chiropractic message. We're all passionate about getting more people under care and about making the barometer for chiropractic rise, because if we don't do it, then no one else is going to do it. And with that, thank you so much and have a great night, everybody.